CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Havana calling. CQDX, CQDX, CQDX. This is Radio Havana calling all shortwave listeners and radio amateurs. Welcome to... DXers Unlimited, Radio Havana's weekly feature dedicated to the fascinating world of radio communications.
Hola, mis amigos radioaficionados all around the world. You are most welcome to this edition of DXers Unlimited, now celebrating more than 30 years on the air, helping always to promote this wonderful hobby that you and I enjoy so much, radio. Well, you can enjoy radio by spending a nice vacation at a remote island, operating your own low-power amateur radio station via satellite, using as a power source, or maybe you are now getting ready to solder the last parts to the circuit board that will soon be connected with power supply, antenna, and loudspeaker, ready to bring in the magical moment, the absolutely magical moment, in the first station heard on a home view radio, first time receiving. Yes, amigos, there are more than 93 different ways that you and I can make this use of our first time and enjoy the radio hobby in full. Here's now item 1 of today's program. Well, item 1. I'm talking about winning more and more interest due to the challenges that it involves. I'm talking about operating your own amateur radio station using a low-power transmitter never to exceed 5 watts when operating on CW Morse code radio telegraphy, or using one of the really amazing digital communication modes like FP8 and FP4. Or maybe you are going to 10 watts when using single sideband voice mode. QRP stands for low power operation, and as just said, it is an attracting lot of attention, especially among those accepting the challenge. So amigos, this is the middle edition of DXers Unlimited, and let me tell you something very interesting about something that happened here a few days ago. A recent example. Not too long ago, I was testing a short wire antenna for the 20-meter band. At the special request of a hand radio friend that has very little space available to install his antenna at his place. His favorite band is 20 meters also, so he challenged me to design, build, and test a half-price wire dipole that would complete his antenna system, not to exceed 6 meters. That's about the antenna needed for a 10-meter band antenna. His 5 meters was the actual size of the active element of the dipole. Each end was separated by 50 centimeters from its board mass with insulators. The antenna design called for 2 highly efficient loading coils. Yes, loading coils that are placed at a distance of 1¼ meters from each side of the center insulator. This half-wave resonant short dipole is set by means of a 1-to-1 balance transformer or balance to prevent the outer part of the structure antenna to connect it from the rating, and so it will help also to adjust the antenna properly. Once completed the prototype antenna, it was set up between 2 5 meters high mast at the home location here at CO2 Gateway, and it was carefully adjusted to resonance on 14.1 megahertz, because my friend wants to provide optimal performance at the low end of the 20-meter band when he operates on CW, especially on 14,060 megahertz frequency. That is important from the point of view of the operation of low-power stations. 14,060, that's the QRP watering hole for QRP stations on 20 meters. Using advanced antenna modeling software, it was possible to estimate that its half-price antenna was down by about -3 or 4 decibels, maybe when compared with a full-size dipole of the same height and above average terrain. What took me a few minutes to connect my 5-watt CW transmitter and start calling CQ on exactly 14,060 kilohertz. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was nice to hear not one but actually 3 stations coming back to my call. Taking a look at the power and standing waves ratio meter, I was able to see that the signals were very good. 1.2 to 1 standing wave ratio. That's a very good standing wave ratio. And the amigo Alberto, my friend Alberto, now has the compact wire antenna, one for 40 meters and the other one for 50 meters. The new one that I did for him that works nicely on 20. He soon found out that by tweaking the controls of his fine network antenna tuner, which is a very good design, it was possible to make the new 6 meters overall length antenna to operate on 15, 12, and 10 meters, and also for some 40 meters that it was designed for. Amigos, keep listening to DXers Unlimited twice weekly on Tuesday and Wednesday UTC days, and on Sundays and Mondays UTC days. This is Radio Havana Cuba. The name of my show is DXers Unlimited, and this special edition devoted to compact dipole antennas that are shortened by a wide combination of loading coils and capacity hats. The program continues now. Alberto, my friend, happy owner of 2 compact flexible antennas, is able now to operate on several bands using my compact dipole with the 2 loading coils that were also easily to build, not difficult at all, and using standard available materials from any hardware store. The amigo Alberto, my friend, is also very pleased with the 20-16 compact antenna. Results are proving to be very efficient. Here, the base antenna shows that by using high Q factor loading coils, as we once designed, it's possible to achieve good efficiency with the antennas behaving just at -3 to 4 dB below the radiation efficiency of full-size half-wave dipoles. And he underscored to me the fact that 3 decibels is half of an S unit, just half of an S unit, 3 dB. Something that is extremely difficult to measure in actual practice while communicating via ionosphere. So a fading of the signals can span 2 or 3 or even 4 S units from the big fading to the maximum signal. Arnie, he said in his email, the big fold percent that my signal 3 decibels down antenna is unnoticeable. No one can really tell the difference between it and the full-size dipoles most of the time. Now, a bit more about the high Q factor loading coils used by both antennas. The original ones were made using 2 very nice 50 mm diameter great ceramic coil forms, one with a calculated number of turns to reach the required inductance at the table I elaborated for this purpose. In order to optimize the Q factor, the required antenna were done leaving the spacing of 1 wire diameter between turns. But the actual, in practice, low-cost version uses PVC pipe, which is 2-inch PVC pipe coil form, and using standard number 14 wire used for wiring at home, PVC insulated wire. The coils are easy to do, not difficult at all. They are covered with vinyl electrician's tape to protect them from the elements. And then I added 2 coats of automobile white enamel paint by immersion to protect them from the action of warmer pool. I must add that the original coils of the prototype antenna measured exactly the same inductance when the antenna was taken down to the transmission rate about a year ago. So they were very well prepared. This is DXers Unlimited. I hope that you enjoy the show. Send your channel reports and comments to info-rhc. Say again, info-rhc@email.cu or via email to Radio Havana Cuba, Havana Cuba. And just before going to our team, an update on the big solar flare, the biggest, most powerful solar flare in the past 3 years. It happened recently, Class M solar flare, and this would signal the upcoming change of the final installation of cycle 25 of the sun that is not needed to improve propagation conditions.
And that's all for today. This is Arnie Coro, Radio Amateur CO2KK, your host here at Radio Havana's DXers Unlimited, saying 73 and very good DX.
Thanks, Arnie Coro, DXers Unlimited, CO2KK, heard every week here on Radio Havana Cuba, actually twice a week, the weekend edition and the midweek edition, which is on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, UTC days. You tune to RHC, Radio Havana Cuba.